Okay. What's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to a Saturday edition of Morning Scone. That is not, that is what I want. Hang on. Good. Okay. Welcome to a Saturday edition of Morning Scone presented by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic. Of course, Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Restored Motions, restoredmotions.com, and Procharge EV, prochargeev.com. Okay, y'all, we appreciate you for being here with us on this beautiful Saturday. It's actually kind of overcast. Looks like it might rain and might not be a beautiful Saturday after all, but baseball season's underway. The Tigers beat VMI in their opener 11-8. A lot to talk about there. Drew is awake, so I have to go get him out of his bed. And it is a new day here on Morning Scone as we are broadcasting live on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, and against my better judgment, Twitter, X. So we are broadcasting live on X as well. So I am very curious how that's going to go. Look at Ronnie Dugas watching on Twitter. The reason I say that I'm hesitant is because Twitter just tends to be a really different ecosystem. We will have, I'm certain, far more viewers because I've got 65 some odd thousand followers on Twitter that are all going to see this, and so a lot of new people will join. But I am hesitant. The Twitter ecosystem tends to be a little different than our Morning Scone fam here, so we'll see how it goes. My apologies for having to do this, but I may have to step away. Maybe might have to step away briefly if Drew gets, or maybe Eric will just let him out of bed. So we will say some good mornings here in just a second, as we always do. If you're on YouTube, please smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, Facebook, like the Matt Moscona page, share the post. We appreciate y'all for being there. Is that Trivia Carter? Or Sir Carter said, "Hey, Twitter world." Go Tigers said that microphone is fire. Yeah, man, it's an RE20 mic. It is the microphone that we use in if is what broadcasters use in any broadcast studio. So appreciate y'all for being there. Real quick, let me get some thoughts on the baseball game yesterday. LSU beats VMI 11-8. And by the way, so real quick, I'm assuming there's a lot of people who are new that are going to be seeing this for the first time because I'm live on Twitter today. Do this every morning. Today is episode 2205, if I'm not mistaken. It's 2,205 consecutive days we've done this show, literally never missed. Weekends, holidays, vacation, hotels, airports, vehicles, pre-op from surgery when I had knee surgery. So we've evolved a lot over the years from just recording a show and uploading it to YouTube to being live on Facebook only, then using two different devices to go live on Facebook and YouTube simultaneously, now having streaming software to broadcast this to a bunch of different platforms all at once. So if you're new today, following this for the first time, thank you for being there. I realize we're on LinkedIn and we're on Twitter for the first time today as well. So thanks to everyone who's there. It's pretty simple. I'll throw out a few topics and then we just go through all your comments, and I'll stay here as long as y'all comment. So whatever y'all want to talk about, fire away. So LSU beats VMI 11-8. Did not exactly go as we thought. The general consensus on this team was, hey, look, the pitching is going to be really good. They got so many good arms until the offense figures it out. Well, Thatcher Hurd only lasted 2 2/3. 10 pitches to the first batter of the game, but he ends up getting a strikeout. He did end up striking out 4. So he recorded 8 outs. 4 of them were strikeouts. The problem is in the third, he got the first 2 quickly. In the third batter, he threw a backdoor breaking ball on a full count. It looked like it should have been called strike 3. They called it a ball, and then he just unraveled. He allowed 4 straight singles after that. And he after the walk, he balked and then allowed 4 straight singles. And just like that, LSU was down 4-3. Justin Lohr came in, got out of it, pitched in the allowed a run in the fourth. Ackenhausen came in, gave you 3 innings of 3-run baseball, Gavin Guidry threw 2/3 of an inning. They brought in Dutton to get the final out of that inning in the eighth, and then Gage Jump was closed. I mean, 96 from the left side. He got the save, but the I mean, for Hurd to give up 4, Lohr to give up 1, Ackenhausen to give up 3 was concerning. But that got you through 7, and then so they got you through 8. No, it got you through 7. Yeah, that got you through 7, and then Guidry and Dutton pitched the 8th, and then Jump pitched the 9th, right? So, but the offense was great yesterday, and that's Braswell led off and played short. He went 0 for 4. That was disappointing. Jake Brown got a hit in his first at bat. Was 1 for 3. Tommy White wore the collar. He was 0 for 4. Did strike out with the bases loaded, which was disappointing. But Travinski was awesome yesterday, 3 for 4. And the thing we talked about Travinski is, man, cut out the swing and miss, and he was awesome yesterday. 3 for 4, hit a bomb, which was great to see. So Pearson had a couple of knocks yesterday. Jared Jones had 2 hits, including a 3-run homer. He did strike out twice. Mac Bingham was 2 for 3. Kling was 1 for 4, but his one was a big one. It was a 2-run double or 2-run 2-out double down the left field line. So Milazzo hit 9th, hit the ball hard, got a single up the middle, roped one to third base, lined out at third, but still liked a lot what we saw from the offense in the opener. So in any event, so Tigers win. They'll play Central Arkansas today if the weather cooperates, and then we'll see the basketball Tigers. So the baseball Tigers at 1, and the basketball Tigers are at South Carolina today at 2:30 Central Time. It'll be interesting to see what happens with the basketball team coming off another close loss, but South Carolina, which was all the way up to number 11 in the country, lost by 40 at Auburn Arena earlier this week. So it's going to be, I think, a pretty wounded South Carolina team that's looking for a get right, and on the road that may be a tough spot for LSU, but we'll see how it goes. So, all right, let's say some good mornings. As always, you know the drill. Fire away. If you're on YouTube, please smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, Facebook, like the Matt Moscona page, share the post. We appreciate y'all for being there with us as always. Thank you to LinkedIn. Go ahead and if you're there on LinkedIn, share, repost this if you would, and connect if you haven't. If you're on Twitter, do me a favor, please retweet it, comment here as well. We appreciate y'all for being there. All right, let's see. Fire away. Good morning, Adam Parker. Jesse Post. That is Trivia Carter. Good morning, Jesse Brown. We got baseball again. I don't know that I'm loving all the day games though, man. Kelly Gross. Good morning. B Rock. Good morning. Bubba Tatum, good morning. Tigers win, Gators lose. The season started just like last season ended. Love it. Randall Offrock, morning, Matt. Jump is going to be the next great Tiger pitcher. Still concerned about the offense, even though we scored 11 runs. I don't know why you'd be concerned about the offense. I think what it proved is there's plenty of potency in that lineup. And that might be a little premature on Gage Jump. I mean, it was he was throwing 96 from the left side against VMI. They've never seen 96 from the left side. When you get into SEC play, everybody has 96 from the left side. So, let's not get. I think Gage Jump was awesome yesterday, closing out the 9th. It's fun to see 96 from the left side when he strikes out 2 of the 3 hitters he faces. But let's not get over our skis. So, D. I don't know if I can show you, man, because this morning Scone is still a family-friendly show, and normally I can show comments now, like Ronnie Duga out there on Twitter X. Cody Kibido, not the greatest start. A lot of SEC teams struggle in their openers. See, I would show you, D, but everyone's going to see your name is now, as people see, D, which, I don't think I want that on Morning Scone, so that may be a one and only. I'll still read your comments, but I don't think I can show your name on the screen as a result of your name. Boo Daddy, quick detour from baseball. What would an expanded NCAA tournament look like in your opinion? Are you talking about basketball, or like the college football playoff? I guess you're talking about basketball. And that was discussed this week, by the way, for those that missed it. And of course, they're going to expand because they'll have more television windows. And I think it was Bobby Knight years ago who used to say, let everybody in the tournament have a 300 and whatever team tournament. We may get there eventually. Wade Lowry, morning, Matt. Did you speak on Trey Holly? Did he lose his scholarship? No, he didn't lose his scholarship. He's just suspended indefinitely. And so an indefinite suspension just means like it's indefinite. There's no timeline to it. It's just you're suspended until we have more information. So no, he's still in scholarship. He's still in school. He's still on the team. But he's entitled to his day in court, like everybody is in this country. You're innocent until proven guilty. And I think one of the things I mentioned on AFR, and I'm not saying this is what happened. Okay, I want to be very clear that I'm not saying this is what happened because I don't know what happened I know everything everybody else knows so far. Whatever, Ed, that's it. But if you remember, in the summer before the 2019 season, Clyde Edwards-Helaire and a friend were held at gunpoint, and Clyde was armed and in self-defense shot and killed a man. And we all heard the story about an LSU football player shooting and killing someone. And I think our default is we assume the worst until we learn the story, which was Clyde and a friend were being held at gunpoint. They were being robbed. And Clyde acted in self-defense. And he's talked about still dealing with PTSD from that. But anyway, I want to be very clear. I'm not saying that's what happened with Trey Holly. Okay, I don't know what happened with Trey Holly. What I'm saying is, can we just let it play out and see? Because we don't know. And look, and if he did in fact try to shoot and kill someone, then he's going to go to prison for a long time. But I don't know that that's what happened. I don't know that's not what happened. I just don't know. So I'd rather not speculate. ML Fody bats look good. Bingham can swing it. I like Mac Bingham. Terrio brought up the comparison on AFR Friday. Mac Bingham looks like Bregman. He's not Bregman. I'm not saying he's Alex Bregman. Please don't misunderstand. He looks like him. Short, compact, even has the upright bat in his stance. I mean, looks like him. Kent Hammers, good morning. Go Tigers, Trivia Carter, Wendell Norman, Kerry Hughes. All the OGs can say, I remember the early days of Morning Scone before Twitter blew it up. I don't know if Twitter's going to blow it up. We'll see how it goes. Lance Richard, good morning. What are your thoughts on Thatcher Hurd's outing yesterday? I thought Hurd, the first batter of the game was interesting because it was a 10-pitch at bat. Hang on, I can get the score, the box score. It was so interesting. I mean, it was a 10-pitch at bat, and and the batter must have fouled off 5 or 6 pitches. Let's see if this will pop up for me here so I can see it. But anyway, Hurd ends up getting the strikeout, but that was not very efficient. But after that first hitter, here we go. Here we go. Yep. So here you go. He went ball, strike. The first pitch of the game was up and in and went to the backstop. And then he came back with a strike. And then he went foul, 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 foul. 5 straight foul balls, a ball, another foul, and then a strikeout. So he fouled off 6 pitches. And what that reminded me of a lot was Zach Hess. Remember when Zach Hess, they made him a starter? And one of the things Maneri talked about so much was the concern was, as a max effort pitcher, a lot of teams fan and wave at pitches just to try to make contact, and they end up not making solid contact, and they miss, and so they foul the ball a lot, and then ends up driving up pitch counts. That happened, and so that was my first concern. But after that, Hurd settled in. He got through 2 innings on 27 pitches, and remember, you want to be in 12 to 15 pitches per inning. So you want to be so through 2 innings, you wanted to be in the 24 to 30 pitch range. He was at 27, so he was right on pace. and he went boom, boom quickly to get 2 outs in the third, and then after that third hitter that it looked like he had struck him out and he didn't get the call, he just unraveled. So, I don't know. I don't know what happened there, but, you know, I was encouraged by the first 2 innings and how he started the 3rd inning, but, first time out in the season, there'll be better days. Casey Smith, morning Scone, how about the game coin starting to get interesting? All of crypto is. One of the things I told y'all, man. Yeah, so game coin pumped yesterday. Well, I'll look at it right now. When I looked at it yesterday, it was up about 8% yesterday, which is a very nice day. Let's see. Little bit of a dip this morning. But it's really all of crypto. We're getting close to the Bitcoin halving. So what you're seeing is a lot of people start to build their bags again. I've told y'all this before. When you buy Gamecoin, you're actually buying Binance coin and swapping it for Gamecoin. And so that the Binance that you own, that you swap for Gamecoin, that doesn't just go away. That goes into the Gamecoin liquidity pool. So anytime Binance goes up, the price of Gamecoin, or the value of Gamecoin goes up as well. So even if nobody is buying Gamecoin, just the price of Binance will cause a movement in the price of Gamecoin. So I don't know if you saw it last Monday, but they released graphically what the digital assets will look like. There's so much more cool stuff that's going to come as well. That's going to come out. So we are seeing more movement behind it, which is awesome. And then also Binance rolling again is going to drive up drive movement as well, which is cool. So yes, everything. We're getting close to the Bitcoin halving, man. I mean, all of crypto is starting to you could feel it's starting to bubble again. So this fall of 24 is going to be a lot of fun. Abner Neal, good morning. It's cold in Ponchatoula. It's cold here too. I mean, it's like 44 degrees. In the house, it feels warm. I'm in shorts and a t-shirt. Timothy Fontenot, good morning. Brian Leday, good morning. Go Tigers. Christopher Hedgeland, good morning. Cliff Nelson, good morning, Uncle Scone. Countdown timer in full effect. What is the difference between effect and effect? Never could get that right. So, affect is a verb. Effect is a noun. So, effect is the result of the affect. If you swing a bat, you're affecting a baseball, right? The effect is the ball was hit to the shortstop. So affect, verb, effect, noun. Kelly Presley, did you think you were going to get that one by me, Cliff? You think I would know the difference between affect and effect? Who are you talking to? Come on now. Kelly Presley, good morning. Asking thoughts on the pitching yesterday. Yeah. Good to see Ackenhouse and Lower came in a tough spot and got the final out of the third and stopped the bleeding, but came out and gave up a run in the fourth. Ackenhausen gave up a homer, which was a bummer. But I think, seeing Guidry, Dutton in a stopper spot there in the eighth, a specialist role, Guidry, Dutton jump was a lot of fun at the back end of the game. I didn't love seeing Hurd unravel the way he did, but but let's see how Holman does today. I mean, we're going to see Luke Holman today, and Luke Holman was Bama's Friday night guy, and he's a talented dude. He's not going to overwhelm you, but I mean, he's an SEC weekend guy, and I think if he goes out and gives you a solid 5-6 innings today, that would really put you on track. Austin Kidder, good morning. Ryan Dixon, you coming to the Houston Shriners Classic? By the way, I don't think they call it the Shriners Classic anymore. I think they call it now like the Astros. I think the Shriners Classic is the thing that's happening this weekend in at Globe Life in Dallas. Just a point of clarification, but I don't think so, Ryan. I'd love to make it. I don't have plans to go yet, but I don't know. Eric and I may pop over with Drew for the Saturday. I mean, it's such an easy drive. It'd be easy just to get up on Saturday and pop over. So we'll see. Maybe. Let's see. Hey, Dad. Good morning. Shelby Kelly, so glad baseball's back. Not concerned about anything with LSU. It's good for the soul to see Florida lose on opening day. Shane Danos, who's throwing tonight. So it's this afternoon, by the way, 1 o'clock first pitch, 1 o'clock first pitch, and it's Luke Holman is going to get the ball. We don't know the day 3 and 4 starters yet. Oh, there you go today. Yeah. Jacob Neal, morning, Matt. Sitting in the Catholic High gym at regional powerlifting meet. All right, Jacob. Go Bears, Catholic High. Good luck to all the competitors today. Joel Cunningham, how fast is Gage jump? Grab the Friday job. I don't know, man. If something to keep in mind is Gage. You remember Gage jump didn't pitch last year, so he was at UCLA, tore his UCL, had Tommy John, missed all of last year, and didn't pitch in the last 2 scrimmages for LSU. And the assumption has been that he was going to be the number 3 guy, but the fact that he didn't pitch in the last 2 scrimmages and they brought him out of the bullpen tells you that maybe Jay is bringing him along a little more slowly, or maybe there's some concern there, or maybe they just like him better in that closer role. A lot of that is just going to be developed as the season goes along. So I don't know that I'm necessarily going to assume that. The other part of it too, remember, Joel, is if Gage Jump is in a starter role instead of the closer role like he was on Friday, you're not out there going max effort for 1 inning. You're trying to pace yourself. So it probably looks a little different too. The ball looks a little different coming out of his hand if he's pacing himself to start as opposed to, being a max effort guy. Jordan Mincer, do you see Bingham moving closer to the top of the lineup? Well, listen, it was 1 game, and I don't want to like overreact, but Braswell kicked the ball in the field and was 0 for 4 at the top of your lineup. And if he's going to be your table setter, then you got to put the ball in play and move runners and get on base and set the table for the boppers behind you to get you in. So again, it's 1 game, and I'm not sitting here saying that that's how it's going to go all year. But that was the concern with Braswell, was that he didn't have a great year last year at South Carolina. He didn't hit particularly well. So, play short and lead off is a big ask. But if he scuffles, then yeah, I could absolutely see Bingham moving close. I could see him moving to the top of the lineup. Lou, 1 bad game. Hopefully we get more from leadoff today. Just talking about Braswell. And I'll tell you, the other one worth keeping in mind they love is Stephen Milam. Stephen Milam is his nickname is Monster. He's the freshman out of New Mexico, and he is your quintessential dirtbag. He is the old school spikes up baseball guy, like they describe, right? So, well, that makes it sound like he's dirty. That's not what I mean to say. Anyway, but I'm hopeful we get to see Stephen Milam this weekend at some point. Justin Franks, what's going on? Said Luke Holman. Lance Richard, how long before Coleman moves to Friday? Hurt isn't a Friday night guy. So first of all, it's not Coleman, it's Holman with an H. And I shouldn't be surprised that it's just 1 game and some of y'all are already going to do this. I just need to pace myself with y'all. Hurd isn't a Friday night guy. Yes, he is. He's every bit talented enough to be that. It's 1 game, 1 start. As folks are noting, Florida lost yesterday. This is baseball. You're not going to win every game. You're not going to be dominant in every outing. So please pace yourself. Please don't make me get mad at you after 1 game. Please. Please, Lance, don't draw sweeping conclusions like Thatcher Hurd isn't a Friday night guy after 1 start. Please, I'm begging you. Don't do that thing. We got 55 more of these things for you all to drive me crazy with your sweeping assumptions after a tough outing because you don't understand that in baseball you have good days and bad. It is a game defined by failure. You fail 70% of the time, you're in the Hall of Fame. Okay? Please don't do that after 1 day. I'm begging you. Begging you don't do that after 1 day. Bubba Smith, good morning. Um, go Tigers. The VMI team has a bunch of Marine scrappers. Scrappers. Is VMI, so I know it's Virginia Military Institute. Are they like actually affiliated with the United States military, or is it like the Citadel? Right, Citadel is not officially like affiliated. They're a military um, school, but they're not affiliated with the United States military. I don't know if VMI is Virginia Military Institute. Dane Bergeron, morning, Matt. It was a wet day at the box yesterday and a cold one today. I'll be out there again, rain or shine. All right, Dane. Glad you're in town, man. Antron, good morning. What time does men's basketball play? Yeah, man. No, you're good. They play at 2:30. So baseball at 1:00, men's basketball at 2:30. So good day today, man. Jump throwing the stinky cheese. In fact, give him the cheese. Give him the hot, stinking Limburger from Rookie of the Year. Jordan Menser, VMI did have a fifth best BA blast year, batting average last year. Was it more of a good hitting team or bad pitching? I think somewhat of a combination of both, but they're also an offense, VMI is, that puts a lot of pressure on you. I think they were second in the country in stolen bases last year. Something that we overlook is the fact that um, we haven't talked about is Alex Milazzo pegged 2 runners yesterday. So on a team that was phenomenal at stealing bases. Good day for Milazzo last night. Austin Kidder, we don't have the pitching to win in Omaha this season. Joking, don't Scone rant me. I can appreciate the tongue-in-cheek comment early in the season. Cajun Country, it is hard to win any college baseball game. The game was not as close as the score showed. No panic here. I would have liked to see Hurd go longer, but that balk got him. Go Tigers. That was it, man. The walk, then the balk, and then 4 straight singles. If you go back and watch the third inning again, if you have a chance to, the third hitter, man, he would have gone up and down in order in the third and threw what I thought was a beautiful backdoor breaking ball. They called it a ball, walk, balk, and then 4 straight singles, and he was gone. He would have been 3 up, 3 down in third on cruise control, having struck out 4. That would have been his 5th strikeout. And instead, it just unraveled on him. So I don't know if that's, he's got to be mentally tougher to bear back down and lock in. Just didn't have it. There you go. Strong side. Milazzo throwing out runners trying to steal was good to see. Oh, you mean Alex Milazzo is an elite defensive catcher? Something I've been saying for 4 years. Not me. I mean, it's what scouts and baseball people say, and I've reiterated it, and a lot of you just like to crap on that. But the more important thing for Milazzo is we know he's a. I think when we look at defensive catching, a lot of times we look at it just in terms of caught stealing, like how do you throw out runners, but managing a pitching staff is, I would say, even more important. How are you receiving the baseball? How are you framing pitches to help steal strikes for your pitchers? And that is where Milazzo is just light years ahead of Neal and certainly Travinsky. Travinsky's bat has to be in the lineup. That's not even question. Like this, I mean, he showed late last year he had to have his bat in the lineup, which is why you started to see him catch more. But defensively, there's no comparison whatsoever among the 3 catchers defensively. So if Milazzo can give you something offensively, awesome, which he did last year, as we talked about. He hit 289 last year. And he was 1 for 2 yesterday, single up the middle, and a hard shot to third base where he lined out. But making contact, at the bottom of the order and being an elite defensive catcher, yeah, man, give me that guy. Ryan Dixon, fire the pitching coach. Midweeks mean more. Love it. Shelby Kelly, it sounds different coming off Brown's bat. He's what they look like. Brown, of course, is Jake Brown, freshman starting in right field. Of course, you put your best arm in right field. So that's a guy that we're probably going to see pitch as well from the left side. A lot of people thought he would come here as a pitcher, but because of the depth of the arms on the staff, and because they want to get his bat in the lineup, Jake Brown batting second, playing right field. Got a single in his first at bat too. Rick Manuel, good morning. David Furr, good morning. Anthony Guglieluzza, good morning. Glad they won. Definitely interested to see where the pitching and hitting goes as they face better pitching and better hitting teams. My dad, no stations this morning. All right, Dad. I called my dad yesterday here on the show. Bluetooth is working on so my phone, I can Bluetooth to my audio board. So for example, let's Bluetooth here and see what I can play for y'all. Just as as a for instance. So I can also make phone calls here. But the other thing too is not only can I make phone calls, I can welcome guests on video as well. I could send this link to someone who can join via video. Um, I'm gonna do this one. So if we ever want guests, so like whenever oh, sorry, I'm trying to connect via. Oh, there we go. Okay, so here we go. Um, so like I can play something for you. Like let's play. Oh, look. All right, we should be back on audio. Hang on one second. My apologies. Okay, 1 2 1 2 test. Okay, we should be back on audio. Y'all give me a thumbs up if we're back on audio. We should be. We should be back on audio. Oh gosh, a lot of comments. We should be back. Should be back. Okay, we're back. Good. 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 Should be back. Okay. Good. Thank you, Clayton Knight, Aaron Hornsby, Michael Gidry, Von Bluesman. Look at that. That's really cool. Jamie Loya. Wait, hang on. Tanya, thank you. Jeremy Loyacono on X. We got our Twitter audience, Twitter X audience for the first time ever. So, Brett DeGrossa, what's your take on Gage Jump coming out of the bullpen? Is that his role, or is Jay bringing back from injury at a slower pace? If he comes out of the pen, jump around should be his intro. I do like the idea of jump around or jump by Van Halen. I sorry, I'm trying to find my spot in the comments again. There we go. I The assumption all along is that Gage Jump is going to be one of your rotation guys. I will be interested to see what they do in games 3 and 4. Remember, this is a 4-game series, so play today, Sunday, and Monday. So they like Cade Anderson. Like I was told, Cade Anderson, the freshman out of St. Paul's and Covington, would be the midweek guy, so the number 4 guy. With Jump having pitched yesterday out of the pen, does Cade Anderson become the Sunday guy? I think that'll be interesting to see. What other guys do we see? Cam Johnson, the freshman, start? Don't know. So I think that's a big part of it. I think you just have the luxury right now of tinkering and trying to figure out who is um who is where. Uh I Jay being so when Jay was asked about Gage Jump on Thursday and talking about having a plan and bringing guys along, I do think that was him referring to Jump coming off of Tommy John and being a little more diligent with him. So I think that's why he didn't pitch the last 2 scrimmages. Um, it's a I mean, it's a 56 game grind, and then you're talking about SEC tournament, regional, supers, Omaha beyond that. So you've got to be, um, you've got to be diligent with how you handle that and patient. So anyway, David Furr said, "Do you think Brown gets moved to the leadoff at some point?" No. um, I like Brown in the two hole for the same reason I don't like Dylan Cruz in the two hole. You're going to see a lot of fastballs, and you're batting right in front of Tommy White. So I would like to see. So that's the point, right? If Tommy White's sitting in the three hole, you're going to make pitchers choose. Okay, who are you going to pitch to? Are you going to pitch to the freshman in front of him, or are you going to pitch to Travinsky behind him? Or you're going to pitch to Tommy White. You got to choose what you're going to do. And if you're sitting in the two hole, you generally see a lot of fastballs in the two hole. And that's why I always wanted Dylan Cruz in the two hole. And that's why I'm very, very comfortable with Jake Brown in the two hole. Let the freshman see a lot of fastballs and crush them and get on base for Tommy White. And then they have to decide, okay, are we going to pitch to Tommy White? Or are we going to put him on base and then try to pitch to Hayden Travinsky with two on? So I don't know what they'll do, but I like Brown in the two hole. Michael Lane Spazzali, hearing you introduce Cassie's last name yesterday was amazing. I don't think I've ever heard our last name pronounced properly. Otter still uses Mike S. Yes. So, Michael, forgive me. I don't, Michael, forgive me. I don't know if we've met before. I'm very sorry. Forgive me. Um, So anyway, he's talking about Cassie Spazzali, who audio produced AFR yesterday. LSU student who we brought on as a video producer, graphics editor, who's doing awesome work. And actually, her sister Jessie is with us as well. So Cassie and Jessie Spazzali. I'm walking here. I like to say Spazzali. But anyway, yes, they're doing great. So Michael, I would assume, oh God, and you commented like 30 minutes ago. So I am so far back on comments. Very sorry. Make defense great again. PSA, don't steal on Alex Milazzo in case you forgot. Jeff McKithen, what's up? David Bass, what's up? Manny Troncoso, what's up? Did you notice Hurd threw a ton of breaking pitches? Yeah, he's got a good slider. Jeremy Wiley, what's up? Anthony, I thought Ack was lights out. Hurd was decent, not a Friday guy. I like him more Saturday, Sunday. I couldn't disagree more with you on Hurd. He is every bit a Friday night guy. He has elite stuff. Don't be moved by the fact that he unraveled in the third. Bo, good morning. Think we see Milam get playing time this weekend? Yes. I would say the two freshmen I'm most excited to see outside of Jake Brown, which is the obvious answer, are Cam Johnson and Stephen Milam. Milam is a guy, for those that don't know, we just talked about a bit ago, freshman from New Mexico that they are very, very, very excited about. And I think if Braswell struggles, I think Milam is next up at short. And boy, wouldn't that be interesting to see a true freshman in there at short. All right, y'all. As always, we're brought to you by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic. Thanks for being there with us. If you need orthopedics, go to Brock. After Hours Clinic is open nights and weekends as an alternative to the ER. They are the best. And Hudco Roofing, if you had hail damage from the storm this past weekend, give us a shout, 364-1007, 364-1007. Ignore those door knockers, y'all. They are out in force, and they are annoying. 364-1007 for Hudco Roofing and HudcoRoofing.com. Okay. That one there. Let me get back to my comments for you here. Sports guy, softball team, and a good game with Oklahoma State. I know it's early, playing early, huh? Melody Benedict Walsh, I thought Hurd was great until the balk. Team got into his head. Rick Kelly, Matt, besides the pitching staff, do you think the catcher spot is the deepest on LSU? Yeah. I mean, you got three awesome guys. Hurd, I think it was Kendall. It was Kendall Rogers who was on OTB yesterday morning. They asked him about the catcher spot. He said he thought it's the deepest in the country, that's a mouthful, man. Sorry, I read that one. Melody said hitting looks solid. Massive contact 1 to 9, with the exception, ironically, of Tommy, which I'm not worried. True. Uh, Anthony on YouTube um, saying the same mess about Hurd. Mm. Colton Mack, Morning Matt, thank you for your content daily. What's the scouting report on Central Arkansas? I would be lying if I told you I knew anything about Central Arkansas. If you want, I could pull up the game notes and I could tell you a little bit about them from last year. But to be very, very honest with you, uh, this is so much more about LSU than it is about VMI or Central Arkansas. Um, Central Arkansas was 23-31 last year, 14-16 in the Atlantic Sun. They did have a 5-4 win over Vandy last year. Bears hit 269 as a team last year, and a 5.45 staff ERA. That's interesting. Opponent batting average of 271. They struck out 443 in 465 innings pitched. So they're pretty good strikeout staff a year ago. Top returning hitter, Reed Bowman, who hit 297. Their leading hitter a year ago was 297. So this team can't hit. Drew Sturgeon hit 296. And AJ Mendolina hit 295. So they had 3 guys in the 290s, but nobody hit over 300. Nobody returning hit over 300 from a year ago. So looks like a team with Central Arkansas that's got good strikeout stuff, but not necessarily good offense. David Tolson, 3 inches of snow in the Springs this morning. Okay. Nate was nasty. Stephen Walzak, Morning Scone, with potential of revenue sharing and the ripple effect of cutting Olympic sports. Should sports running in the red be cut? I'm sorry. Should sports running in the red but could run in the black, i.e. gymnastics, adjust ticket prices, travel schedule, or is there no saving some sports? So to be very clear, Stephen, gymnastics isn't going to be cut. And the problem with gymnastics is, well, from a revenue standpoint, is you only have like 6 home meets. So there isn't enough opportunity to make money. Yes, they put 13,000 people in there, but with only 6 home meets, you're not going to generate enough revenue from 6 home meets to offset the expense of having that team. So, because you can't charge $100 a ticket, people aren't going to go, right? So, and even if you charged football prices, football has 100,000 seat stadium, not a 13,000 seat stadium, right? Basketball works at 15, $20 a ticket, whatever it is, because you're going to play 20 home games or whatever it is. Baseball works because you've got 30 some odd home games, right? That's why gymnastics is never going to make money. It can't make money. I mean, unless if you just exist in a completely bare bones, which they're not going to do. I mean, you're going to pay coaches and you got to travel for meets and you've got equipment and you've got to pay your scholarships for your student athletes. So what's going to get cut are men's sports, the non-revenue men's sports. Because remember, you got 85 scholarship players in football, you got 13 in men's basketball, and 11.7 in baseball. Those aren't going anywhere. So 85 and 13 is 98, and 11.7 is 109.7, right? So imagine you'll have those 3 men's sports, 109.7 scholarships. How many women's sports do you have to total up to get to 109.7 scholarships? So women's sports are probably going to be fine. The non-revenue men's sports are what are eventually going. I'm not saying tomorrow, but eventually when you get into a revenue share model and you have to start determining how you're going to operate, what you are going to cut are men's sports. Now, the weird thing is, in order to be in good standing with the NCAA, you have to have a certain number of Division I sports, sanctioned Division I sports. So does the NCAA change that rule? Or do you just have football exist in a completely different ecosystem, which may happen? My friend Michael, good morning, Matt. Finally got a Saturday off so I can watch the show. Had to work all day yesterday until 6. How did the Tigers baseball team look? Pitching was a little shaky. Offense looked great, but want to know. Rex, good morning. Dave and Durr, good morning. Most impressive was Gage Jump was the most impressive pitcher. There's no question. It's just a matter of will he stay uh, at the back of the bullpen or will he be a starter? Jeremy, any bourbon you've been drinking lately that you really like? Well, I mean, Jeremy, all the bourbon that I drink, I really like. I'm very fortunate to have built a very nice um, collection over the years. So essentially, everything that I drink is a really high end allocated whiskey. So um, if you're asking for like recommendations of new things, um, I always think Old Elk does great stuff. All the Old Elk releases are really good, so I'd highly recommend that. Um, I think if you can find an Old Elk wheated, I think any of those are amazing. Um, Still Austin has done some fantastic stuff. Um, just their straight bourbon is really good. If you're looking for something new, I'm trying to think what else. 1792 bottled in bond is one that was released around COVID. It's the 1792 with the yellow tape around it. It's fantastic. 35, $40, really good whiskey. Trey Daddy, you like the nickname Kling Kong, Lynn Rollins, FTW. Lynn has fun, and I just say let Lynn do Lynn, but I'll never call him Kling Kong ever in my life. Brian Penn, good morning, almost in Tulsa. Okay. Dustin Fontenot, going to the basketball game this afternoon, hoping for the best. As am I. Let me see if I can find the line on that game real quick for LSU and South Carolina. Tigers on the road. It'll be interesting because South Carolina obviously is coming off a really disappointing loss. We lost by 40 to Auburn. South Carolina 6.5 at home. That sounds about right. See if the Tigers can go find a way to win a close one late. YouTube, please smash that like button if you would. Subscribe to the channel, Facebook, like the Matt Moscona page, share the post. Also, we welcome our audience today for the first time ever on Twitter, X, and shout out to LinkedIn watching as well. Rick Kelly, Pearson showed good speed, running down the base runner and the pickoff rundown. Josh Pearson's a really good player, man. I don't have any issue whatsoever with him moving to second base. He's going to be fine. Wade Lowry, Matt, from last year's debacle, how much rain do you think Allen will give Kubiak? Do you think Allen will give his own input toward the offense? I sort of look at it like if you're Dennis Allen, you've let Clint Kubiak, you just let him be the head coach of the offense and you don't meddle. I mean, the fact that he's letting him essentially build his own staff kind of tells you he's moving in that direction to begin with. Let's see. Bo said Monster's going to be a fan favorite when he starts to play. That's Stephen Milam. I'm excited to see him. Bo also said we are overreacting so much to Hurt. We aren't, Bo. Some of the people in this chat are. Joel Cunningham, who starts on Sunday, Javen Coleman. Could be Coleman. Look, you don't have any shortage of options. I mean, that's one of the things about this LSU team is you have so many arms. And yes, I'm very much looking forward to seeing Gage Jump start and try to extend, but I think we're going to see Cade Anderson start one of these games. I'd be really surprised if we didn't. I mean, look, we didn't get to see Aiden Moffitt last year. He could start for you. You know, Dutton was in a stopper role yesterday. We've seen Dutton start. Jaden Newt coming off of injury could start for you. We Christian Little. Christian Little could definitely start for you if he's not going to be a back of the bullpen guy. One of the guys, DJ Primo, is a local kid out of Central who we didn't get to see pitch much last year, who could go. You mentioned Javen Coleman, Cam Johnson. I mentioned Cade Anderson, who's the freshman lefty. They got a ton of arms, man. Like, there's no shortage of arms for this team and options. So getting a lot of these guys innings and work and finding out who fits in what role is going to be one of the really fun parts of the beginning of this season. Murder Giraffe, LOL, it's happening already. Brian said VMI was the fourth 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 best is hitting team in the country last year. Trivia: wait till they lose a midweek game. Cody Stafford, was it raining at the box yesterday? Off and on. It was drizzling. It was a wet day. Um, Robert Collins, morning, Matt. How would you describe the Weller Foolproof? That's the only one I haven't had. Cheers. So, Weller Foolproof is the blue Weller right here. A lot of people, that is their favorite of the Wellers. Um, when I first started drinking whiskey, I thought I had a little bit of an aversion to whiskey that was too high proofed. I found it to be overwhelming. Um, and I kind of compare it to chicken wings, where it's like you have mild, medium, hot, and then you have like blazing. Like, I don't want something that's hot just for the sake of being hot and you can't even taste anything. Um, and when I was just getting into whiskey, that's kind of how I felt about higher proof whiskeys. Um, the more that I've sampled and had over the years, the more I guess my palate has refined. I know that sounds so stupid to say it that way, but you know what I mean. Um, the more I can appreciate a higher proof whiskey, especially one that doesn't it's not just complete fire, because you can get all the subtleties of a foolproof. So foolproof means it's uncut. It's the same proof it is when it comes out of the barrel. They don't cut it down. They don't cut the proof down to make it more palatable. But think of it like this: when you drink a Coke and you put ice in it, what happens after 5 or 10 minutes? Right, it gets watered down because you have melted ice, you have water in it. As opposed to drinking a Coke straight out of the can, where there's, you know, you're getting all the flavor. So same thing. So when they cut whiskey, they're proofing it down, right? And so you're going to lose some of the flavor of it as well. That's also why a lot of people don't drink whiskey on ice or rocks, because you're inadvertently proofing it down. You're not just making it cold; you're proofing it down. So, um, oh, look at DJ. Yeah, Darren James just texted me. Said, let's plan to welcome me on video one day. I love the new setup. Let me see if I can send him the link. I'll do it right now. Um, all right, DJ, if you're still watching, um, let me figure out how. Okay. Let's figure out how after, and then we'll absolutely do it. Um, that is going to be really fun. What the new software allows, I can put comments on the screen, as you all can see. Uh, I have the ticker at the bottom. I can do logos and all different types of stuff. So, and I can bring guests on the screen. I just got to figure out how to do it. Um, I'm not going to do trial and error here during the show. But Darren, if you're still watching, that of course Darren James of Darren James and Associates, brokered by LPT Realty. Of course, you can always call Darren James at 335-7666, 335-7666, or go to agent225.com. You need a realtor. You need the best. You need Darren James. All right. Back to our comments here. Brant Roban. Florida lost their opener. Vandy and Arkansas struggled. Hey, man, it's baseball. I know people don't like that explanation, but it's true. It's baseball. It's not like in football where if your offensive lineman is 310 and their defensive lineman is 260, you win. It's baseball. Brett DeGrow, morning, Scone. Really feels like baseball with Lynn Rollins and Big Ben on the call. David Hawes, Guy Morgan. Other than pitching, what positions are unsettled? Third, second. Well, third's not unsettled. Third is Tommy White. And second is Josh Pearson. I think he settles there. I think the big question is, can Michael Braswell maintain the starting job at shortstop? And he did kick a ball yesterday, and he was 0 for 4 at the top of the lineup. I don't think one game is going to cause you to lose your job, but I think you will open the door if he struggles this weekend to give Stephen Milam a chance, and I think he would be next up. Aaron Hornsby, good morning. Melody Milazzo had a day hitting yesterday. Milazzo had a year hitting last year. I mean, you're right, Melody. But it's the point I keep bringing up, man. Like Milazzo hit 289 last year. He cut down tremendously on the swing and miss. He only struck out in about 24% of his ABs last year, which is a dramatic improvement from where he was. And when you're an elite defensive catcher and you're putting the ball in play, yeah, he did that all last year. And I'll tell you this, he went and worked with Terrio a bunch. And what they worked on was going up the middle and the other way, letting the ball travel farther and going up the middle and the other way. So if you notice, his single was to center. And, well, I guess as a righty, he pulled the ball to third base. But anyway, up the middle and going the other way. Strong side, Lynn Rollins was funny. We're playing a game of whack-a-mole. Lynn Rollins is one of a kind, man. Cajun Fried Legator. Good morning, Tiger Nation and Matt Moscone. Thank you, man. Rick Kelly, good morning. Big Ben said Travinsky had the most power on the team. The guy looks like Soda Popinski. Dave Durr, Lynn's whack-a-mole comment had me on the floor. I was on air, so I couldn't listen to Lynn's commentary during the game, but he is one of a kind, man. Gunnar Michaels, morning, Scone. Pitching is always rough early. Bats look great, though. No worries. It'll be a good year. Von Bluesman, any update on Trey Holly situation? No, sir. Nothing new. Shelby, Travinsky has the best pimp job in the country. Carl, morning, Matt. How often do you go bourbon hunting? I sometimes find some treasures in the Rouse's baskets. Congrats on your Weller Foolproof, but I've been trying to find the antique and CYPB. So I'm always hunting, Carl. That's the answer. It's you constantly have to be on the. I'll give you an example. I went to last Saturday. I guess I could say this. Last Saturday, I went to Maxwell's Market in Baton Rouge. They have some kebabs that Erica likes, and anyway, so I went to go get her some kebabs. I did steaks on the grill, and she didn't want a steak; she wanted kebabs. And I went into the one over there on Perkins Road, if you're familiar with Baton Rouge, and they have whiskey there, and so I just asked the guy. The guy was telling me, he's like, "Oh, that's this the Four Roses small batch is really good." I'm like, I wasn't trying to be like, you know, whiskey nerd and blah. I was like, "Oh yeah, I've had it before. It's good. Hey, do y'all?" And so I asked him like, "Do y'all have anything allocated? You know, anything that's not shelved?" And he was like, He was like, he was like, "Well, we do, but I don't know if I can sell it to you." I was like, "I understand, totally understand." He's like, "But we can get stuff for you if you don't." Anyway, my point is like, you always ask. Everywhere I go, I always ask. Like, do you have anything allocated that's not shelved? You know, and like that's so you just always ask. But anyway, the answer to your question is I'm always hunting because you never know where you'll find good stuff. Brian Broom, good morning. These are, let's see. Jeremy Wiley, can the softball team keep the win streak going? First competitive game yesterday for them. I hope so, man. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I know everything about the softball team up and down, but I think the world of Beth Torina. She's one of my favorite coaches on campus. I've said that for years. I think she's a great coach, and I'm so hopeful for her to break through, not only get to OKC, but to win it. And maybe they have the pitching this year to do it. I was talking to Howard Dobson a couple weeks ago. So Howard Dobson is the hitting coach for LSU softball, and Howard's son Trip is a senior on the Catholic High baseball team. So I was emceeing the Catholic High baseball banquet, the first pitch banquet a couple weeks ago. So I saw Howard, and said, "Man, their pitching's really good. They got a few question marks they got to replace, but yeah, man. Hopefully this is their year." Shelby Milazzo is no doubt an MLB catcher defensively. Does he do enough offensively to earn a shot? Shelby, this is what I've had scouts tell me about Milazzo. Um, and I've said this for years, and I'll say it again. I know some of y'all have laughed at me for saying it, but again, this isn't my opinion. I'm telling you what like very respected scouts have told me that Alex Milazzo is a big league bullpen catcher. Um, he's the guy that um, is your bullpen catcher, and every so often they pop him down to AAA just to catch a game to keep him sharp. And those guys can play a decade and make $750,000. Like that's how I've had scouts describe Alex Milazzo to me. So when I say he's a big league catcher, I'm not telling you that I think he's a starter or an all-star or anything like that, but is he a guy that can because of his defensive prowess play a long time and make money professionally as a catcher? Yes. That's not my opinion. I'm telling you that's what I've had. I mean, y'all, I've taken so much crap over the years for defending Alex Milazzo, and it's hilarious now that everyone seems to be coming around to that idea. But I mean, the amount of and smart baseball people who have given me crap about that over the years is um, alarming. But again, I'm not giving you my opinion on that. I'm telling you what I have had like professional scouts in major league organizations tell me about Milazzo from the time he was coming out of Zachary. Gary Atchison, morning, Matt. Just glad to have baseball back. First game out of the way. Things will settle in. Not worried about this team whatsoever. Joey Metge, good morning. Let's see. Gary said Jump was a little amped, but wow, did he impress? Yeah, man. See, Gary, that's also the thing, man. When you're when you're coming in that role, right? And you know it's the ninth inning, and you got to go get 3 outs, and you could just rear back and let it rip and let it go. Um, it's just different, bro. It's a different mindset, different approach, um, as opposed to being a starter, knowing you have to extend. So that's why I would love to see what Jump would look like if when he does start and he gets the opportunity to extend. Hey, Alden Cartwright. Cartwright, watching on X. That a boy. First time ever on Twitter, X today. So excited to be there. Go Tigers. Tournament in Houston will give us a better gauge on the team than these glorified scrimmages. Russell Doloff, what's up? Hey, Aunt Sharon, good morning. Let's see. Grandpa Joe and I have been looking forward to opening day. We were not disappointed. Love LSU baseball. Heck yeah, it's my Aunt Sharon up there in Arkansas. My papa up there as well. So I hope y'all had an awesome opening day. Cold yesterday, a little cold, a little rainy, but Tigers got it done, and it was a good day, man. Good to have baseball back. Erica's not happy. Erica's not thrilled about having about baseball back because that means so much of my days will now be consumed with baseball on TV. She hates it so much. Hey, Clegg's Nursery. Too much VMI offense yesterday. Y'all, great day to get by Clegg's. As we always say, just plant something. We are in that season now. And remember also, spring will be here before you know it. And your lawns will be coming back to life. And it means you'll have most likely weeds in your lawn. You're supposed to spray now before spring to get your lawn primed for when spring does come to kill all those weeds. So get by Clegg's. They got all the products. Great time to get there. But Saturday, Clegg's Nursery. Buy local, shop local. Tell them I sent you into Clegg's Nursery. And baseball fans. I'm not sure who that is running that account right now. Not sure who that is posting. Wondering who's hiding behind that Clegg's Nursery account. Let's see. Go Tigers. Ryan Pike. Any trends you saw yesterday we might be able to bet on for a week or two? Not in college baseball, man. I am not betting college baseball. There's so much variance in college baseball. I think generally overs in college baseball, especially early in the season. I mean, and honestly, typically it should go the other way. You would want to bet unders because of the weather, and when the weather gets warmer, you'd start to bet overs. But you look at a day like yesterday, and you had a bunch more offense because usually pitching is ahead of the hitting, and it's cold, so you'd bet unders. But yesterday certainly didn't show that in college baseball. Um, let's see, Cole Leclerc. What was the most disappointing part of yesterday's game? I want to see Thatcher Hurd extend. I'll give you two. So Thatcher Hurd, I would have liked to have seen him extend, and then Braswell kicked the ball at short and went 0 for 4. I would like to see Braswell play a little better. But new day, go get it today. Irfan Sayad Gamogan. Shelby, refer him to Musso at the box for a scouting report for any of the opponents this weekend. Yeah, man, Musso at the box. If you haven't done so yet, please subscribe up to Musso's podcast, favorite podcast app. Search Musso at the box, or on YouTube, Musso at the box. Please subscribe there as well. Tiger Diver Morning Scone. Only 27 more Saturdays until college football returns. I'm excited for it, but I'm also excited for baseball. I'll pace myself with baseball. Sean, have we heard who the third starter will be? If not, who's your guess? So the plan all along had been for it to be Hurd, Holman, Jump. It sure feels like they're bringing Jump along a little more slowly coming off Tommy John. And what I had been told was that Kate Anderson was going to get the first crack at midweek. And so if that holds, then Anderson might be the next guy up, or Cam Johnson. Cam Johnson's the freshman lefty who was look, Cam was projected by everybody to be a top 10 pick. He had his number, he didn't get it, so he showed up on campus. That's a guy who's like if you have not seen Cam Johnson yet, I mean 6'4", 240 from the left side, throwing 100. He looks like a defensive end pitching. It's incredible. So I am really, really excited to see Cam Johnson when we do. Let's see. Brandon Levasseur, Matt, the 2023 Florida Gators think Hurd is not good enough to be a Friday night. Well done. Hat tip. Wish I had thought of it. Really well done. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to go there for a second. So for those of you nincompoops who are being complete dork faces here, and you know who you are, saying Thatcher Hurd's not a Friday guy. I would like to remind you that at the College World Series against Florida, Thatcher Hurd threw 6 innings of 2-hit, 2-run ball with 7 strikeouts and 2 walks. In the College World Series championship game, the deciding game 3, he gave you 6 innings of 2-run, 2-hit ball where he struck out 7. So, yes, I agree. Thank you, Brandon. Well done. Shame on me for not having gone there first. But to all the dork faces who are trying to say that Thatcher Hurd is not a Friday night guy, shut up. Like I'm just telling you right now, shut up. I'm not dealing with that. Randall, Matt, you know if Missouri is the only university with a female athletic director? No, they're not. Maybe the only one. No, Vanderbilt has one. Candace Lee, I believe. Yeah, Candace Lee. Penn State, maybe. There's a bunch. Sandy Barber. Let's see. They're showing a quick Wikipedia search shows 32 female athletic directors. It's not that uncommon. There's obviously more male athletic directors, but it's not uncommon. Female athletic directors are not uncommon. Johnny Troxler, what's going on? Good morning. Y'all smash the like button if you would. Scooter Allen, thinking about drinking some double barrel and starting a fight. Shelby, Connor Griffin pitched last night, 94-97 with a wipeout slider, 13 Ks and 65 pitches. Oh my God. Connor Griffin's the number one player in the country for next season. He's committed to LSU. He's out of Mississippi. It's just a giant question of whether or not he shows up here or not. He'll probably be the first pick of the draft and sign, but we'll see. Dave Endur, great part of the pitching staff. We now have a bunch of left-handed pitchers. Got a dozen. There's like a dozen lefties on this staff. Bo Wegman, what's going on? Good to see you there on Twitter X. That's our engineer, Bo. Trivia Carter, do we see Shores anytime this season? If you do trivia, it'll be at the end of the year in a very, very limited out of the bullpen rule. But typically, if you're talking about 16, 18-month recovery from Tommy John, it's unlikely you see him. Stephen Walzak, I think it was on AFR. You showed renderings of Alec Box renovations. Any update on the timeline of progress? Yes, Stephen. So that got shelved this year. It'll be for next season, moving the bullpens. Yeah. So I got sent the renderings. So they're going to move the bullpens into the outfield under the bleachers. So they're going to elevate the bleachers, put the bullpen under. There will be access through the gate. Gate access through the fence out in the outfield. And then putting some more like sort of premium seating in the bleachers down the lines, which is pretty cool, to where like you'll have when you sit, you'll have a bench table in front of you with cooling cup holders. It was some really cool stuff, some like really cool features just to add some amenities to the park. But next season. Taylor Calandro, I found my phone. That's incredible. So for those that missed it, this is Taylor from Calandros, who joins us on our Whiskey Wednesday shows to do Bourbon Dictionary. Lost his phone in the bowels of the Tower of Terror. I hope you had an OtterBox on your phone, so it would have survived the fall down the elevator shaft. But we did the segment on Wednesday from his wife's cell phone because Taylor had his phone in his pocket, lost it in the Tower of Terror. But glad that you found it, man. That's great news. All right. Sorry. All right, David. Got a little MMA parlay for us this evening? Okay. I'm here for it. Stephen Fry, any idea we aren't talking more about Cam Johnson? Is he as good as advertised? Had an average fall. No, I mean, I think he's a freshman and we're going to see him come along, man. I'm excited to see, like I would tell you, he's the guy I'm most excited to see pitch this weekend. So S. Pat said, why doesn't Gavin Guidry get reps at shortstop? So I'll tell you this, Pat. I am super, super interested there as well. I would listen. You sign the number one player in the state. He comes to campus as a two-way guy. I understand why he's not. He just got beat last year. Dugas won the starting job at second. Thompson won the starting job at short. Got it. You wanted to get something out of Gavin Guidry, so you let him pitch. He ends up being on the bump to get the final out of the College World Series. Awesome. I certainly would have thought that he would have gotten run at one of those middle infield spots this year. And the fact that Jay said, no, he's just going to pitch was very interesting to me. And, normally you get a guy that's that highly touted, and in year two, he's not getting any run at one of those middle infield spots, especially in the current state of college athletics. Yeah, he leaves. So I'm curious. I don't know. I'm curious. I'll find out, but I'm curious what's going on there. Darren Gagnon said, morning Scone, Bingham leading off. What are your thoughts? I'm for it. I think Braswell at the bottom of the order might take some pressure off. I don't want to Listen, I don't wanna dump on Michael Braswell after one game. Please don't misunderstand me, but I also think it's worth noting that, um, last year last year at Carolina, um, he hit 255 with 40 strikeouts in 153 at bats, um, and lost his starting job. Um, so I just think that there's a little prove it there with Braswell. And I hope he does. I hope he does awesome and but maybe, you know, bumping him down in the lineup might take a little pressure off, especially early. But we'll see. Um, but Bingham on the flip side, Bingham's a guy that's a fifth-year player and is, your dirt bag, and Jay recruited him at Arizona and had him at Arizona and brought him here, and it's just very clear, man, that dude's got a short, compact swing. He's gonna get on base. He's gonna pester, uh, pitching. I like that guy. I do. Jerry G, what's going on? Good morning. Dustin Abear, still Austin, definitely one of my new favorites. Stays in my rotation these days. That was a Bourbon question earlier. If you're on YouTube, please smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, Facebook, like the Matt Moscona page, share the post. If you're on Twitter, Twitter X, please follow me on Twitter. Appreciate that. Maybe retweet this. And if you're on LinkedIn, first time ever today, we're on Twitter. I was kind of curious how it would go. Not a ton of Twitter interaction today, but that's okay. Rick Kelly, there's a bottle of Van Winkle 20 year for 3,300 in Slidell at a time saver. That's ridiculous. But you see someone like that's the thing. So, Rick, that's the only bottle they'll get for the year, and they'll put it at 3,300 bucks, even though retail on it's probably 500 bucks, 450 maybe. But they'll price it, or maybe it's 300 bucks. But they'll put a 10x on it and put it on the shelf because they know somebody is going to walk in and pay it. And so they'll just sit on it for as long as they need to until someone comes along and pays that price, because someone will. Carter 7 VMI was way better than I thought. Dave and Drew Butera made a living being an elite defensive catcher, but zero with the bat. You can do it. I mean, go look at starting catchers in Major League Baseball and what I mean. It's just rare that you have a Buster Posey. I mean, you just don't see those guys that are, Mike Piazza, Pudge Rodriguez. You just don't see great catchers that are also great hitters. It's just an uncommon thing. Jay Borden, good morning. Ryan Thibodeau, Milazzo is an amazing defensive catcher. His receiving is the best I've seen in a long time. And that's the point, Ryan, that a lot of people lose sight of. Like when you talk about a defensive catcher, a lot of people just think in terms of throwing out runners, caught stealing stats. But it's not. It's how you receive a baseball. It's being still behind the plate. It's framing pitches for the umpire. It's working the umpire. It's calming down your pitcher. It's all of those things. And he's phenomenal at it. He's a fantastic receiver of the baseball too. And just it's the thing to watch is if you're watching a game and you're curious about it, just watch how still Milazzo is behind the plate. How little his body, his glove moves as he receives the baseball. If you're a catcher and you have dramatic movements or what feels like dramatic movements to an umpire, it makes it feel like the pitch was off. It wasn't where it was supposed to be. Cartwright can talk about that. I don't know if he's still watching, but he could. Jacob Willis, good morning. Austin Kidder, I'll catch pitches in the bullpen for $750K any day. Darwin was right. Oh my God. Video quality on Twitter, not great, but it works. Okay. It's interesting. Brant Roban, Milazzo was clutch in the College World Series. People can be crazy sometimes. But that wasn't just a College World Series thing. It's been a years-long thing because Milazzo struggled with the bat. And so people would only look at his bat and say should be in the lineup. And the point that I made and have made over and over again for years is you will sacrifice a bat for an elite glove at a premium defensive position. For example, um, we saw that with Michael Papierski early in his career. Great defensive catcher. The bat didn't come along till later. Andrew Stevenson might be the best example of that. Stevenson, as a freshman, hit 180, but played center and caught everything. It was basically like having two players playing center. And even though he hit 180, it didn't matter because you had a lineup all around him that hit so great. You would sacrifice one bat for that elite glove at a premium position. So catchers like that as well. If you got a lineup that can hit, you'll have an out in your lineup if they give you great defense at a premium position. And that's what Milazzo was early in his career, but the bats come along now, and it's phenomenal to see. Barry said, "Morning, Scone. Great new setup. 2 4-game series. When do you think we see Thatcher again? Friday. I think we'll see him again next Friday." Bruce Shales, morning, Matt. Love, love, love what I saw from Jump yesterday. Can't wait to see the rest of these, what these arms can do. It was great, but honestly, Bruce, the thing that I'm most curious to see is I want to see Jump as a starter because it's just such a different approach when you've got 3 outs and it's just, hey, go let it rip. Just let loose and let it rip to get 3 outs. And hey, I need you to give me 100 pitches in 6 innings. You got to pace yourself a little more. Shelby heard a comp of CC Sabathia. Oh, for Cam Johnson. That was before CC gained all the weight. H-Town Tyga, morning from Houston. When do you think Junk will be a weekend starter? I think, I think it's exactly that. I think it's ramping him up for that. And they'll coming off of Tommy John. So I don't know. I don't have the answer to that. I'm not there. To know what the doctors are saying. I'll find out though. I promise you that much. But the thing that I tell y'all every year is because I never get to go to any of the practices or the scrimmages. The first time I see this team play is when they play the first game. So yesterday was my first time seeing them play. So now I know what to ask and what questions to get answered to. Go Tigers. If you want to keep these kids to turn down the big league money, come to LSU. You got to throw them out there ASAP. Well, it's not exactly true because once you're on campus, you're here for 3 years, unless if you're a draft eligible sophomore. So you got them for 3 years. You can be patient with them. Let's see. LSU has 5 Friday night guys. We'll see. Let that sink in, Dork. Deborah Coward, good morning. Box was electric yesterday. Glad to hear that, Deborah. Again, I was on air during the game. So I had the game on my phone, just kind of sitting there on set. So I was trying to follow it as best I could with the sound down. But it looked like it was a great crowd, and that's good to see, especially for a 2:00 game on a Friday. H-Town Tyga, I love your new setup, Matt. You're ready to become South Louisiana's Joe Rogan. If I had 1/1000th of Joe Rogan's audience, that would be incredible. Craig Duga should have won by 10. Fire Jay Johnson. Patrick Cason, good morning. Shelby, there are only 2 non-collegiate players in the Golden Spikes preseason list. Cam Caminetti and Connor Griffin, both LSU signees. Yeah, that's true. So the Golden Spikes is just for the best amateur player in the country, not for necessarily the best college player in the country. So that's true. If you're wondering why they're high school guys. Oh, sorry, I just read that one. Reed, morning, Scone. Appreciate all your content. Makes living in Jersey more bearable, especially when college baseball is completely foreign up here. Well, thanks for watching, Reed. I appreciate you, man. Thanks for being there. Reminder to everyone on YouTube, please smash that like button if you would. Again, subscribe up to the channel if you're on YouTube. Facebook, like the Matt Moscona page, share the post. As always, are brought to you by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic. After hours clinic open nights and weekends. So as an alternative to the ER, if you're celebrating a Hayden Travinsky bomb, a bear bomb today maybe, and you jump up and when you land, you turn your ankle and you think, what did I do? Did I break it? Did I sprain it? Did I tear a ligament? You don't need to go to the ER. Just go to Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic. And of course, Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Do business with someone you know, Hudco Roofing and HudcoRoofing.com. give us a shout. Best way to go about it today, our crews are all over the place with all the hail that hit last week. We'll never knock on your door. We will. Um, it's just annoying to think these homeowners that have 6, 7, 8 roofing companies knocking on their door. Vultures, man, leeches. We'll just do great work, and when you're ready, give us a shout. 364-1007, 364-1007 for Hudco Roofing and HudcoRoofing.com. Of course, always Restored Motions and ProCharge EV. I went and saw Crystal Poche on Thursday. She's changed my life, y'all. And I mean that seriously. Just she's changed my life. I don't fear living in chronic back pain anymore. It's incredible. If you live in pain, just book a session. Restored Motions, restoredmotions.com. Dave Endur said Bingham needs to hit leadoff. End of story. Yeah, I'm not opposed to it, but it's been one game. Like, you don't, Dave, in a 56-game season, you don't draw sweeping conclusions after one game, ever. Go Tiger said Bingham reminds me of another Dugas. Merrick Mathern, Matt, I agree with you 100 on the piping on the uniforms. Damon Gilmore is an Astros fan. I hated watching Castro and Maldonado, but they could get it done behind the plate. All the chatter about Braswell's swing being reinvented. Take a look at last year and this year. Really don't see a change. I believe VMI last season was a top 10 hitting team. They lost 2 players from last year, 2 players from bottom of their lineup. Yeah, it's a good team. They're a good team for sure. Merrick, I miss Coogan's frolics. Me too, man. Ryan Bruch just watched the video of Terrio's letter to baseball moms. Classic. It was great. If you missed it, it's on Twitter and on Facebook. Terrio's letter last week to baseball moms. It was hilarious. Jonathan DePriest, LSU softball walks it off. Oh, that's awesome. I probably should have I've got a TV right here. Probably should have put it on. That's awesome. Awesome. Win number 500 for Beth Turina. That's awesome. Good for her. I can't believe I didn't have that on. That's a total miss on my part. I totally should have had the game on. I got a TV right here. ATX said, Morning, Matt. Any idea on the next Whiskey and Wine Minute Maid Classic? Maybe. Might be able to do that. We'll definitely be having a companion show for the NFL Draft over at Don Juan, but I'm not opposed to doing baseball whiskey and wines. Dave Endur, Wake Forest on Twitter, had 3,500 at the game. We had that many in the bleachers, LOL. LSU is a basis for which no other program should be compared. It's just different. We all know it. Let's see. Cortland. Sometimes it's the little things I love. I love how Travinsky finishes his swing when he crushes the ball and lays the bat on the ground. I don't know what's better. I don't know what it is, but it's better than a bat flip. It looks natural. I don't know. I like pimping homers. I like bat flips. I like Bear Jones F-bombing the pitcher last year. Clayton Knight, speaking of the Astros, Bregman might be leaving. Yeah, I think Bregman's gone. This will be his last year in Houston. They sold their house in Houston. They bought a home in Arizona. I do believe he will be. I mean, they paid Altuve, but like you've seen so many of that core in Houston. Springer, Correa, leave. I think. Well, I mean, Verlander left and came back, but yeah, I do think this. I think Bregman will sign. He'll get a $300 million contract from someone somewhere. I think this will be his last year in Houston. Shoot, I'd love to see him play in New York. Yeah, David Bass said everyone's on Braswell. Let's give it a chance. White 104. The difference is we know Tommy White led the nation in RBI last year and was one of the top leaders in every offensive category in the SEC last year. So there is a history there. You don't worry about the problem with Braswell as he didn't have a great season last year at South Carolina. But Jay Johnson spoke highly of him. It's one game. Yeah, Cortland Gymnastics with another 198. We watched the gym meet last night. They started at 8, so it was a late start, but they were awesome. I tell you what, man, I know not everybody's locked into it the way that we are sometimes, but um, their beam rotation was awesome. That's been the bugaboo for so many years, and if they can continue to perform on beam the way that they have been, this is a team that's capable of winning the national championship. I mean, it's getting to the finals and having your best meet of the year. And if they do what they're capable of doing in that meet, they can win a national championship. Does Bingham remind anyone of Rafe Rhymes? Absolutely not. Um, no. Uh, Bingham is stocky. Rafe was skinny. Bingham can run. Rafe was slow. Bingham can hit with power. Rafe was just spraying the ball all over the yard, almost like a professional golfer with a pitching wedge. Just put it wherever he wanted. Honestly, honestly, the goat. I don't see a single comparison between Bingham and Rafe Rhymes. Not a single, except that they both played left. I mean, that's about it. Um, Dale bet the over on the Tigers baseball until further notice. Shelby, did you see Bear do the below so when he hit the bomb? He waddled down third baseline. I did not. No. Jeremy counts as an upset win according to rankings. Oklahoma State number 8, us 12. Talk about softball. Travinsky. Travinsky's with an I, by the way, not an E. Just sorry, Cortland. That's just me. Travinsky is Travinski. Travinsky. And that's me, Cortland. It's not a you problem. It's a me problem. I'm the one that can't just ignore things like that. It's not a you problem. It's me. It's not you. It's me. It is me. I'm acknowledging it's me. Yes, cold case. Florida lost 9-5 to St. John's. We're aware. Talked about it earlier. Love it. The Tigers win. Gators lose. It's baseball. It happens. Oh, you're talking about the swing. Okay. It's all good, Cortland. Again, like I said, it's me, not you. It's me, not you. Most people wouldn't care. They know exactly what you mean and who you're talking about. It's just a me thing. It's 100% me. I just can't help myself. I don't know. I wish I wasn't the way that I am, but I am the way that I am. Okay. That was last comment. We made it through our first ever broadcast on Twitter X. So, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter. Dave said, if you think, I didn't say I'm OCD. I'm definitely not OCD. And then Clayton said, I don't think y'all understand what OCD means. It's literally just, I'm a grammar nerd. That's not OCD. That's not obsessive compulsive behavior. That's just pointing out bad grammar. Anyway. Cortland, I get it. I just suck at spelling names. That's so good. Anyway, all right, we're done. Thanks so much for watching. If you're on YouTube, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, Facebook, like the Matt Moscona page, share the post. We appreciate y'all as always for being there. LinkedIn, thanks for being there on LinkedIn with us as well. And it sounds like a breakup. It's not you, it's me. Wait, hang on. This is an interesting one. ATX said, what would it take to sell the 3 shelves of whiskey today? You have to understand, though, also, ATX, that like all of those bottles are opened. So they're not worth what they would be unopened. That's the big, they're not really worth much of anything because they're all opened. So like I don't have unopened bottles of whiskey. I get a bottle of whiskey, I open it and I drink it. So there are some people that just collect stuff and let it sit on their shelves because they want to either flip it or just display it. I drink it. So again, I don't know if that's exactly what you're asking, but like if everything that I had was unopened, all of this was unopened, you would be talking about tens of thousands of dollars on the secondary market. Secondary market. I mean, I've got 2 Four Roses LEs. I've got a Thomas Handy, Parker's Double Barrel, Rip 10. I've got 2 William LaRue Wellers. That's 3 Kentucky Owl 11-year ryes. That's the Willet 7-year rye. 2 Boss Hogs up there, 1 Boss Hog down here. That's 2 Michter's 10 Ryes. That's all of the Wellers, Old Fitz 8-year, Hancock Reserve, Elmer T. Lee, Rock Hill Farms, Blanton's Gold, another Parker's Heavy Char, Caribou, and all of those are 3 deep. On the third shelf, everything is 3 deep. So I've got like that's 2 special release Jack Daniels. That's like all the 1792s, including the 12-year. There's Orphan Barrels. That's like 3 different years of Rhetoric. I've got like 6 Midwinter Night Strams down here. I got 4 different Taylors. The single barrel, small batch, barrel, the barrel proof. I mean, it's like, hey. Dale said, "How long will those open bottles be good to drink? Forever, as long as you keep them corked. It's not like wine; it's not going to get rancid. You just don't let if air gets in it. That's when it starts to aerate and proof down. But as long as you keep it corked, I mean, it's good as long as you keep it corked and sealed." Clayton said, "Speaking of Blanton's Gold, did you open the bottle from Randy?" Rodney, Hot Rod, Beloso, Cade's dad. No, and that's the well, I don't know if y'all can see it actually. So here, this is Blanton's. If you can see the green thing behind it right here, that's the Blanton's Gold that the Hot Rod gave me. So that's the one we got open. I tried to get Cade and Hot Rod in studio on Thursday, 2 days ago. Hot Rod was available. Cade was not. So we'll make it happen. Ryan said, "How do you decide which one to drink? Whichever I'm in the mood for." So whenever you have like that much, it's the way that I kind of compare the way that what I would compare it to, Ryan. It's like walking into a candy store. So it's like, well, there's brownies and there's cookies and there's ice cream and there's Skittles and there's big giant lollipop suckers and gummy bears and like Starburst. And what are you in the mood for? Chocolate covered strawberries. I mean, like, what are you in the mood for today? You know, so that's kind of this. It's like, all right, well, what am I in the mood for today? Do I want a rye? Do I want a high proof whiskey? Do I want something softer and sweeter? Do I want something that tastes like Christmas? And then I drink Midwinter Night's Dram. There's just so many options. Do I want something lower proof and easy to drink? Do I want something with a heavy char? Like, what am I in the mood for that day? Dale Broussard, is Ocho still ghosting? Thank you for the reminder. I will reach out to him. I will reach out to him today. Miracle Martinez. Ooh, I like this. We're getting whiskey questions now. How does Old Fitz compare to the Rock Hill Farms? Very different. That's the Old Fitz 8-year. And all the Old Fitzes are great. I was able to do a flight one time with like 4 or 5 of the Old Fitz. It was like the 8, the 9, like the 11, and like 13 maybe. And then I found the 9-year, like I had a big flight side by side, and the 9-year I thought was the best. That's the 8-year that I have up there. But it's very good. And Rock Hill, I know a lot of people love Rock Hill Farms. A lot of people think Rock Hill Farms is the best of the mash bill twos. I happen to really like Elmer T. Lee of the mash bill twos. That's my favorite. Okay, I think we're done. Thanks so much for watching. Shout out to Brock and Hudco. You North Peas, go to Brock. Need a roof? Call us at Hudco. See ya.